Read you a couple of verses from Psalm 91. Psalm 91, the first couple of verses, this is what it says. It says, "Those who live in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. This is what I declare about the Lord. He alone is my place of refuge, my place of safety. He is my God, and I trust him." He is the place of safety. He is the place of rest. I trust in him. That's the place of security. And I remember many years ago being taught about the idea of security and the idea of peace. And we can often think that peace, imagine a painting, and the painting is a beautiful countryside scene, and it's blue skies, and it looks so peaceful. There's no rain, there's no storm, and it's just, you just look at the picture and you feel relaxed. And we can imagine that peace and security and following God and having faith in him is like that everything feels fine in our life. But actually, that's not the peace that the Bible promises. That's not the security the Bible promises. Actually, the security looks very, very different. It looks like Psalm 91, which might be a different painting. And you imagine a painting where there's wind and the storm and the wind's blowing and the gale force and the trees are all over the place. But you look really closely and you see the bird's nest. And you look even closer and you see a bird in the bird's nest. And you look even closer and there's a baby bird in the midst of it. And actually it's under its mother's wings. And there's chaos going all around, but actually in that bird's nest, just under the mother's wings, is peace, security, and refuge. That's what Psalm 91 says. That actually leaning into God, that spending time in his presence, looking at what he's doing, reminding ourselves he's still got the whole world in his hands. That's where peace and security comes. That actually, these are not unprecedented times. Living with uncertainty is the norm for most of human history. The question is, what are we going to do in those times? How are we going to respond when things get worse or things seem to insecure, when we don't know what's going on in the present, we don't know what's going on in the future? And I want to suggest that a lot of Bible characters, a lot of people who have encountered God have found that he's still got the whole world in his hands. And I want to offer that sentence for you this week, to just carry it with you. And if you're someone living with anxiety or fear, if there's questions you've got about your present or future, that you just carry that sentence with you. And whenever it happens, you just say that to yourself. You just say, you know what? He's still got the whole world in his hands. He's still got my world in his hands. And the idea of doing that is taking it from something we know in our head to something we know in our soul. And we only get peace and security if it's something we rest in and we lean in, not something we know in our mind, but something we know in our soul. Then